Okay, so this video is to give you an introduction to Adobe Premiere. I'm currently using a Mac, as you can see, but some of you will be editing on PCs, and the same information applies. So if you look down here in your dock, you'll see a shortcut to Adobe Premiere at the bottom. I'm just going to click that and start it off. There should be a similar shortcut if you're using a PC around here. So when we load it up, it takes a couple of minutes to load in, but it should give you some options at the start as to how to proceed, whether you want a new project, you want to load up an old one. We'll see it now in a second. Okay, so I speeded up the process a little bit there. Normally if you're starting up Premiere first, the computer's been turned on, you're starting it up first, it takes a little longer than if you were to load it up later in the day. If it's the first load of the day, it takes a little longer than subsequent loads. So you can see here, we've got a new project. We can open a project. There's no recent work here at the moment, so you can start something new. I'm going to open a project that already exists in a few minutes, but I'm just going to go to new project first and kind of talk you through some setup options. So here is where you set up your new project. Most of these things we don't have to deal with at the moment, but I'll just go through the two important ones, and they're right at the top. So I'm going to call this project Physics because I've got a folder on my system here called Physics that I want to work into. So I'm going to say the name of the project is Physics, and I'm going to tell it to its location to be, and I'm going to browse to my desktop. I'm going to make a new folder, and I'm going to call this Physics. You never leave anything as untitled one or anything like that. So I'm just choosing that folder as my destination. And you can see that there's a path now. Users, admin, which is the account I'm logged in under, desktop folder called Physics. So it means that everything related to this project that Premiere generates goes to that folder. So I'm going to OK that. And there's my desktop. I'm just going to hide that for 1 second and we'll come back to it. So there's the Physics folder I set up. And you can see already in there it's got this Physics project file, Premiere project file. 27 kilobytes. That's about the size of an email. There's nothing to it really. That file is just a set of instructions as to how to put the program together. In and of itself, it's not the program. It is just the instructions to assemble it, made up of the film footage, etc. So I'm going to show you the original Physics folder that I've been using to make this project. And you can see there's my Premiere project, Physics Test, and this is an edited version. It's 75 kilobytes, which is still tiny. So this one here is 27 and has nothing done to it. It's just an empty project. It's just got a name. This one is edited and it's only 75 kilobytes, which is tiny. So this file tells Premiere how to take all of these files here, the audio that I've got there, and how to assemble them into the program. If you copy this file here onto another system and open it, nothing will happen. If you copy the entire folder to another system and try and open this file, it will work. So this in and of itself, this Physics Test PROJ Premiere project file is a set of instructions as to how to assemble all of this. It won't work without all of this stuff. And you have to keep your stuff in the right folder because it's only when you move it to another system and you take one folder with you, but there's stuff on another folder that you didn't bring, there'll be gaps in your edit. We'll go to that later. Okay, so let's go back to Premiere. So I'm just going to go do a quick tour of the desktop, and then the next video will be showing you a project brought in, and we'll do some editing. So various windows around here, whichever one is selected is the active one. This is your source where you would prepare a clip for editing. This is your timeline where you physically start to build and edit. This is your program window where you play back what you've assembled, and this is your project window. And basically, this is where you store all your footage and audio material that you're going to edit with. There's a toolbox in here for various tools. For that's a selection tool. There's a razor blade. There's a pen tool, hand tool, type, and ripple edit, and track select forward tool. There's some of them I don't use. Different editors edit in different ways. Over here, you've got audio meters. So I'm going to close this for the moment. Actually, no, I'm going to just close this project, and then I'm going to open up the other one that I've got. So PC, transfer. No, not that one. is this one? Testimonials. And there's my physics folder that I've been using before. I'm just going to double click on that. And excuse me, there's my physics test file. So I open this one. Opens up Premiere again for me. Should run a little quicker this time to open it because it's the second time I've opened it today. It usually takes less time than the first. So there you can see that's a lot quicker. Okay, so in a second now it's going to start assembling all my footage and making those connections, and there's my edit up and running. So you can see I've done some work on it here. I've got a video track here, I've got audio here, and I've got a music track here. So this is the dialogue from the interviews. This is some audio down below, and these pink ones are oh yeah, so it's saying that it's missing a few fonts, but that's okay. I'm going to go here, and if I play it, okay, so then the interview starts. So you can see that the audio is built up here. I'm just going to mute these tracks because it's probably going to annoy us as we work through it. Okay, so if I play it now, you see it's bringing in those. And I'm going to stretch out this clip here so we can see it a bit better. So this just zooms in. It's this little slider here. That'll drag you along the length of the timeline, and these handles will zoom in and out. So you can see I've got some black video that I've swapped around to be white. That plays, fades in the logo, and you can see the little crosses off sign there. Fades that out, fades that out. Cut, 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 cut. That's 4 little graphics, and you can see the way they're staggered. I bring pre-university science in first, pre-university science, lab, techniques. Then I just let them cut out, go to my cutaways, cut, cut, cut. So you can see how that timeline is assembled really. Now over here, I've got all the footage that I used. So you can scroll down through there. And there's the audio that I brought in for, I recorded the audio on a separate recorder, not just the camera audio. And that is a piece of music that I made for it. And there's the black video. And that black video is actually this black video, but I reversed it, I inverted it so it would be white. So it matches the logo a bit better. So let's just do a basic cut. I'm just going to move past it down here just to edit down here so you can see what I'm doing. So let's say I want to put together some cutaways. I'm going to go with this magnify or microscope first. I'm going to double click on that. And it should, hang on, let's try it again. There you go. It goes in there, right? So there's my shot. Let's say I'm going to move to about here. I say, okay, I want to take, I don't want all of this. I don't want the whole thing, right? It's about a minute long. I only want about 10 seconds of it. So you can see over here, there's a little timer. That's about 7 seconds in. I'm going to mark it in. I'm going to play it. So I'm going to go to about there. That's my shot. Actually, it's not even that. It's actually a lot shorter than I think. So then I've marked off the bit I want, marked out and marked in. I don't want this bit at the start. I just grab this clip, drag it down onto the timeline, and there it is. Now we can't quite see it there because it's quite a small clip. Let's zoom in on it, and there it is. Amazing. So, so that's it. You're essentially, that's how you roughly, in a very basic, we'll go into more detail in a future video, but that's essentially your basic timeline and how it works. So I prepare a clip over here, I mark it in, I mark it out, I drag it onto my timeline, I get another clip, I mark it in,
that's how you keep it on track.
I mark it out, so I'm just taking this bit here, I drag it onto the timeline. Let's zoom out on that so we can see what we're doing. I'm going to put the playhead there so we can see. Okay, so there's a zoomed in version of it. Let's get this one out the tabs. So mark it in, mark it out, grab the clip. And when I drag it down here, see the way they just lock on together at the end? So there's an edit. I think you'll agree that's a very impressive edit. But it's just 90% of editing is straightforward cuts, and that's what that is. Okay? So that's a basic intro to Premiere, just showing you what works. So I play this. Just cuts from one shot to the other. I've muted the tracks, so let's turn those back on.
That's how you keep it
You
on
can see my
track.
audio levels are going here.
So open up your Genie software.
Okay, so that's basic cuts. You prepare it in here, you mark the in and out of what you want, you bring it onto the timeline, your next clip, double click it, mark it in and out, bring it down onto the timeline, and there it is. Now we've got these three amazing edits now.
So open up your Genie software. As if you want to change it.
Okay, so and then I can just select them, delete them if I want to. Nothing's permanent, nothing, everything can be changed. So that's a very basic intro to the layout of Premiere. So your source window where you prepare a clip, put a clip in there, find out exactly how much of it you want. So I mark it in, I mark it out, and then I drag it down onto my timeline. And then when I play it here, this shows me what I've assembled so far. This is my timeline that I'm building up. I got video tracks on top of video tracks. I've got audio tracks down the bottom. And then I just prepare my next shot. I've marked it. It remembers the last time it was marked in and out. I drag it down, back towards the end. And that's a basic cut. Okay. So thanks for watching till the end. If you have any questions, just send them to testimonials@cdcfe.com. And if you have a request for any particular tutorials, if I can do it, I will. So thanks for watching all the way to the end.